Am I live? I don't know. This is so different. Good morning or good afternoon, guys. We are here at the table. As you can see, it's the holiday season, and we are coming from our perspective places. It's warmer, it's comfier, and I'm just sitting here looking at the Christmas tree, and I am um, excited about today's topic. Today, we are going to be talking about mental health during the holidays. And then we're going to be giving some tips for a healthier, happier holiday season. I have with me my girl, Alicia Walker. But she got another one, Alicia Walker White. Or did I say it backwards?
You said it backwards. White Walker.
Okay, Alicia White Walker.
It's okay.
I know it's two W's.
It's all
Win win. So she's going to be with me as we move along this journey. We all know that the holiday season can be, a little tricky,
yes.
to say the least. Um, it is often most of us associated with, joy and, celebrating, but it can also bring a significant amount of emotional strain to each and every one of us. For many, it's a time of increased stress, loneliness, anxiety, grief, and just maintaining our mental health during this time is extremely crucial for our overall well being. So, as we navigate and talk about what this season means to each and every one of us, and us individually, hopefully, we will take you on a journey where if you haven't started the healing process, you can. Or we can take you on a journey of at least getting to the place where you can allow someone into your space to help you begin the healing journey. So, welcome to the table, Alicia.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me. It's an honor. Thank you so much.
As you can see, we both have on our holiday decor, our holiday shirts and stuff like that, because it's the season to, according to society, to be joyous and happy and stuff like that. But we know that many of us have some concerns.
Yes.
So let's start off by let's talking about how we can maintain, our holiday stress.
Well, good morning, good morning, well, good afternoon. I think it's very important to just, be easy on yourself.
Hmm.
Don't overwhelm yourself. Know what you can handle, know what you can't handle. All of the,
Yes.
techniques are important. As the holiday seasons come along, you have some people that don't have families. You have some individuals that have lost family members recently. So we just have to be, a little bit more soft, as I might say, with ourselves. It's very important. And then be soft to others. You know,
Yeah.
you have your family and your kids, count that as a blessing.
Yeah.
And if you can bless someone or be there in comfort, that's very important also. So I think we need to be easy on ourselves.
As I'm
Be easy on ourselves, and just take it one day at a time.
Yeah, I concur. When it talk about how we can manage our holiday stress, the first thing we should or we need to do is recognize our stress triggers.
Definitely.
Some of us automatically know that during these times we can have holiday depression.
Yes.
As you stated before, sometimes it's because of grief and maybe you just have conflict with your family. You guys just can't get on the same page, or you guys can't get along. So you might feel lonely because I don't have anybody during this time. My family and and us, we don't get along. So it's just me and my kids and no more. And you just feel isolated. You feel like, what's the use?
Mhm.
You know, you don't want to go to any holiday parties, any holiday gatherings. Sometimes you just want to sit in a room and, just collect your thoughts. But you don't realize too that that can also bridge or continue the bridge when it comes to seasonal depression.
That's right. That's right.
So
Definitely.
I always try to tell people, listen, if you can, do not sit and isolate yourself. That's the one thing you don't want to do, because that's the devil's playground.
Right.
You get by yourself, and he can play on your mind. Nobody loves you, nobody wants to include you. You already lost your mama. That was the only person who really loved you, or who ever really made you, feel like you belong. You lost grandma. Grandma is no longer here to bring the families together. So there are many things that we have to recognize when it comes to stress triggers. So what about us learning how to practice mindfulness, and what are some of your relaxation tips that you can give the viewers?
I think I like to shop, things like that. But just relaxing, taking, watching a movie, not being hard on yourself. Of course we all work, so things can be a lot each day, but just relaxing and just taking a woosah moment
Mm-hmm.
um to be calm and collect your thoughts and things of that nature. And then, let's just be honest, right now with it's so important to just stay grounded, you know. So that's very important to stay grounded. So that's pretty much, just collecting my thoughts and being calm and collective, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. So, what some of the things that mindfulness things and relaxation tips that I practice is around this time, because I know it can be some triggering things, whether it's the music, a certain level of a smell. Around this time, by me losing my mom, around this time, you'll always smell sweet potato pies going. The old, what do you call it? The Motown Christmas music and stuff like that. So I am stuck on um Christmas movies. So I engulf myself with watching something that's going to bring me some sense of peace. I listen, I drink a lot of hot chocolate around this time, with some whipped cream and some, marshmallows, or break up some of the peppermint and sprinkle it over the whipped cream and stuff like that. So I try to do things that I can bring kind of some ease to
Mhm.
myself. I wanted to say some solitude, but it's a struggle. It's
Yes.
definitely a struggle.
You have to make the best out of it. Even if it's hard, it's important to just make the best out of it. Everybody is going through something
Yep.
um,
Yep.
around the holiday seasons. Like you said, sometimes the holiday seasons alone can be depressing to some people. You have some parents that might not have funds to buy gifts.
Yep.
You
Yep.
have to, okay, am I going to buy gifts or pay my bills? I don't want my kids to go without. So it's just so much that comes into play when you think about the holidays and what's going on. So I just think it's just important to be very, very, very mindful of what you do, what you say. If you're able to be a blessing, do that, because that's important. Even if it's something small, if
Yeah.
you're able to back, able to feed the homeless, or feed, like we fed the seniors, that was a blessing just to be able to um, help out with that. That's a blessing, because it's always better to give than receive anyway. We
Yeah.
know that. So if
And
you're
that
in
that will take the focus off of your issues, and put the focus on somebody else, making somebody
the
else dream come true, making somebody else, or filling the void in somebody else's life.
definitely, definitely so important. And we just have to just take it one day at a time.
Ooh.
Isn't how it was Christmas holidays back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so much that as individuals and adults and even kids that we have to worry about and things like that. So really all you can do is just, stay mindful, stay prayed up, and just, take it one day at a time and just do the best you can with what you have. It's not, it's easy for us to
Yeah.
say, oh, don't be depressed or don't think about this and that. But when you're not in a person's situation or their shoes, what do you
Yeah.
say? Know? So I was just proud of myself on just trying to be a good person.
Y-
Even if it's a kind word or just getting with friends
Yes.
or things like that around this time, that's important. Everyone needs someone. So
As I study when we talk about mental health, all of us have mental health. Whether we have good mental health or mental health that needs to be attended to. But I looked at a statistic earlier, and it says 1 in 4 adults experience at least one diagnosable
mm,
mental health problem in any given year. 9 out of 10 people who experience mental health will have to see someone, to help them navigate through those feelings.
wow.
So, as we see, a lot of times we see the most severe cases, but we don't see what people battle on the inside or inside their house. A lot of times when people see me, they always see me, smiling or giving or being a blessing to other people. But they don't know some of the battles that I deal with, when I come in my house and shut my door. And it's only, I'm saying, myself and God to really sit and work through these things. They don't know
Yeah.
that even during this time I get a sense or a level of seasonal depression. For the last maybe 2 to 3 months, I have been battling, what I'm saying, just
Yes.
my own happiness.
Hmm.
I'm usually finished with Christmas shopping in July. My Christmas tree is up. Christmas music, the switch, it comes on in July. Everything is like in place for Christmas. I just put my Christmas tree up last night,
Oh wow.
and I'm about to cry. This is crazy. And I had to force myself, you know, only because I have grandchildren.
Hmm.
So I still want to make the moment and the season, magical for them and stuff like that. Still teaching them that Jesus is the reason for the season. But realistically, they're still children. You know what I'm saying? So there's a level of joy that comes, in this season for them that they don't understand what a lot of adults are battling. You know, I haven't even finished my grandchildren's Christmas shopping. Meanwhile, in my mind, I'm going over, okay, I told a young man at my school I'm going to bless him with a PS5. So I got to get over there. I got to, get that to him. I got another young man. I gotta drop stuff off. I'm shopping for everybody, kids, except for my own grandbabies. And I'm still just trying to go, 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 go.
Be a
So
blessing.
it's a lot. It's a
Yeah.
lot. But in my mind, I feel like at this point that I'm at today, all of us should be setting realistic expectations for ourselves.
Yes, definitely.
What we can't do, we just can't do.
Can't do it. That's right. That's right. And
And
I'm one of the. I'm not to cut you off. I'm a stickler on making the holidays as smooth as possible.
mhm,
I was trying to start my shopping early because I refuse to go into the holidays bills not paid
yeah,
or you know because regardless of what, when Christmas is over, bills are going to be paid. They have to
yep,
be,
yep,
running up credit cards and going
mhm,
into debt and things like that. It's just not necessary. But a lot of times society have people thinking that they have to do all of this and that for one day. And it's
yeah,
just planning ahead, you know, give or take. Some people can't plan ahead. But
yeah,
the truth of the matter is that that brings on a lot of depression also because you're
mhm,
trying to do so much, And when you space it all out, it gives you a sense of calmness.
Mhm.
um you can just enjoy the holiday. Right now I'm in an era now that I just want to enjoy what I can,
Yeah.
and not worry about, okay, I got to do this, I have to do this, I have to do that. you know but a lot of people don't have that access, so I understand that. But I
Yeah.
also feel that sometimes we have to be mindful of our energy and the people that we allow around us.
Yeah.
And that has a lot to do with your depression and a person's anxiety. Sometimes a person's spirit could literally damper on to the way that you feel. And
Yeah.
people will look at you like you're crazy when you say that, but it's very important. Some people you have to distance yourself from. Have you ever
Yeah.
noticed certain individuals just in life in general that you can't be around because it makes your spirit seem sluggish or things like that?
Yep.
That's true. A lot of times we wonder, okay, I'm upset, because it's been times that I done felt some type of way, and I'm like, my bills paid, my kids healthy, my husband is
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
What am I tripping about? But sometimes it's the energy that's around you. So sometimes we have to be mindful of our mental health when it comes to dealing with certain individuals and just people in general, and who we let in our space, because that can be, it might not even be that you're depressed. Their energy is making you depressed because they're around you. So we have to be mindful about that. We have to, you know when I was younger, my grandmother used to always say, watch who you be around, and energy transfers, and it's the
Yeah.
truth. Because
I think
sometimes.
energy transfers, but I also think that sometimes God allow us to feel other people's energy so that we know how to pray. And sometimes when we're in a position where we can meet that person's need.
Mhm,
So I look at it, on the opposite side of that. I do understand that you have to watch who you are around.
mhm,
But sometimes you have to ask God, why am I feeling this way when I'm around this person? Should I be taking some time out of my schedule to intercede for this person?
mhm,
Or, what I'm saying, should I be encouraging this person to come up a little higher? I had to tell somebody the last week we were talking and I'm just sitting there listening and I said, you know what? I said, you always negative. I said,
mhm,
have you realized that? And
mhm.
sometimes they don't realize it. And it was literally like it was like sucking the life out of me. And in my mind, I'm screaming, but I'm just sitting there looking. And I said, I can't take it no more. I said, do you realize that you ain't said nothing positive? Well, ain't nothing positive. I said, babe, I'm finna give you a few. And I said, and I just want our conversation to stop right there because I'm starting to get a headache.
Yeah,
So sometimes we have to not in a takeover way, but we do have to interject and say, hey, I don't know if you know this, but just something to think about.
yes.
And I think it does put people in a place where they start thinking about what they say before they say it.
Mhm,
Like, dang, am I negative? you know have I not said anything positive in the last, 5 minutes?
mhm.
So I think I look at it from a different perspective because of the gifts and the callings that's on my life. It's nothing to walk in a room and walk past somebody and instantly feel what they're feeling.
Right.
Or, you know, I'm next to somebody and I could just say, "Hey, what's going on with you?" I can feel like heaviness and stuff like that, and then people just start breaking down. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, I didn't really want to know this, but you know, Carmen, you asked, so now I feel like I have to sit there and listen.
Mhm.
But we do have to set realistic, expectations. Like, okay, I can only be in this person present for this amount of time before I realize that my spirit is now starting to be grieved, or
That's right.
you
So
know, and that's healthy.
yeah, definitely, and it works on our it'll trigger our mental health.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
that's because mental health is a really, really, really big thing right now. You got some people that's going through mental things, they don't even know that they're going through them until they snap or something like that. You
and
know,
that's why we have to prioritize our self care.
You definitely.
daily,
Mhm.
daily. I work two jobs, full-time jobs. I'm down to one now. I'm no longer at the mall. However, working two full-time jobs, every day I came home, I'm with children all day. That's a hot blessing.
Mhm.
But I don't want to say the other word, but they were, really blessed. All over the place. Just little blessings, just everywhere. And then I went to a mall where it was like being back educating young people, but adults who didn't have a bit of sense. So every day I came home, my mental state was at stake.
Mhm.
Every night I came home, I watched one to two Christmas movies or a comedy show before I was able to go to sleep. That's how I had to come down from the day or whatever. So now I prioritize my self care. If I feel a certain way, I'm coming home, I'm sitting down on my couch, I'm laying in the bed, and I'm putting in a movie. I'm watching some TikToks that'll make me laugh. I'm talking to somebody who I know will bring a sense of peace to my spirit. But you have to prioritize your self care. It's a must.
Yes, definitely.
What are
It is.
some of the things you do?
Well, to be honest, you know, because I've worked in education for so long, and I know that sometimes we can take the burdens and the issues of our students home with us. I've learned to honestly separate myself from it.
Okay. Okay.
Um, Not saying that I don't have days that I'm like, wow, I can't believe that that happened and things like that. But to be honest with you, I had to learn to separate that because I don't
Okay.
want energy in the home with my husband and my kids.
Mhm.
So what I do is when I'm at work, I work. And when I leave out the parking lot, I try not to think about work until I have to pull back in the parking lot the next morning.
Oh, wow.
I have to do that. And um, that's just what it is because I would literally be off work and be answering emails from my phone, you know.
I do
And
that.
I had to stop that. Like, okay, I'm not at work today. I'm not, I'll handle that tomorrow. So I really had to teach myself to separate that. I'm going to come to work. I'm going to do my job the best of my ability. And then when I go home, it's about my family and my kids. I'm not about to um, stay after work if it's not necessary.
Yeah.
Not going to add extra pressure on myself. I'm not doing that because I've worked at schools where individuals have literally passed away
Mm.
that had been there for years, and you almost have to beg administration to let you go to their funeral. You know, and it's like, why stress yourself out and go through all of that trauma for them to replace you before your obituary is even done?
Now you telling the truth.
So I don't, I separate myself, and I do my job, and I feel that I do my job really well, and that's what I'm there to do. But far as me taking work home, and we're off now till January 5th. I didn't bring a laptop home. I'm off. You know, so we have to learn how to separate that. We have to.
And see, I've been getting text messages since I clocked out,
Mhm.
especially from the grandma. And I get it. They may not have a lot and stuff like that, but the grandma, what time you coming? What time you gonna bring the PlayStation? What time? And it's like, ma'am, I will text you um when I'm on my way.
Mhm.
Um, and it's just like every hour. Well, what time would it be before it get dark? And it's almost like
Like,
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's almost like I want to say, you know what? I'm
I'm not.
not coming
Yeah.
because I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be a blessing to your grandchildren. I don't got time.
Yeah.
Ma'am,
PlayStation
ma'am,
isn't cheap, so they really are being blessed. That's not a cheap item.
at all,
So the
at
fact
all.
that you take it upon yourself to buy something, that's a blessing in itself. So if you don't bring it to 1 o'clock in the morning, they should be happy that they're getting it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And then that's another thing too. We're working in education. We got to be mindful of what we do, because
Yeah.
times as educators, our hearts are so big and we want to help everybody, but also individuals will take advantage of that.
Yeah.
You I've seen it happen,
Yeah,
and
and you speaking the truth. Cause I
yeah.
got what Tuesday I gotta go pick up a couple of my students to take them to get their hair done,
Oh,
for Christmas.
so yeah, so you're really in that ballpark, and I've done bought coats, shoes, boots, hats, sent lunches home. I've done it all. And need be, we'll still do it if needed.
Yeah, yeah,
But at the same time, we have to be mindful of that, because that comes along with our mental health. That's
yeah,
stuff so overwhelmed, and you feeling that you have to accommodate everybody, and then you look
yeah,
back, you're not even accommodating yourself.
yeah.
And we
Cause
have
I don't think I factor in. What if I wake up today and I'm just not feeling the best and I just want to take it easy? I can't, because I have to get up and make sure that I keep my word and stuff like that, where the children are not, left out. But anywho, I won't. I'm gonna try to do better next year.
it's
But
fine.
let's
You
talk about conflict. Coping with conflict with family members. How do you do that around this time of the season? While we're trying to understand our family dynamics, and maybe Big Ma's not here, mom or dad is gone, so things are shifting, and we're still trying to keep a level of togetherness, with the family.
um like I say, it's always about protecting your energy and your peace.
Mhm.
If you know something isn't what it should be, even if it's with a family member or a friend, keep your distance.
Mhm.
Keep your distance. Hey, how you doing? Merry Christmas, and keep it moving. Because at the end of the day, we're all in control of our own peace of mind and what we allow. And it all boils down to choices. You know,
Yeah.
um, we can try to help everybody, but everybody don't want to be helped. You have to be mindful of what you allow people to put on you. You know, um, just because they're going through something, that doesn't have anything to do with you.
Yeah.
Pray.
Yeah.
Um, but it's about just keeping your space. Keeping your space. Certain places, if you feel that the energy isn't what it's going to be, family, friends, don't even go.
Yeah.
Don't expose yourself to something that you don't have to expose yourself to.
Hmm.
And that's just to put it in a nutshell. Don't expose yourself to anything that you don't feel that's good for your spirit.
And that's good, because when you talk about, coping with family, understanding family dynamics, you can go over to one house and oh, it's gonna be love, it's gonna be peace, we're gonna have a good time, we're gonna just relax. But another family dynamic, Keisha and them,
Mhm.
they're gonna be over there fighting, they're gonna be smoking weed, they're gonna be getting lit. And that may not be the energy that you have to give for that day. I haven't hosted Thanksgiving or Christmas in a long time with my complete family. Now my sons, and their girlfriends, they come over. But even dealing with strategies for, like healthy communication, like you may have to say, okay, we're not talking anything, political. um, we're not talking about no baby mamas or baby daddies. You know what I'm saying? At this holiday gathering. We're not finna throw auntie or cousin or nobody under the bus. You know what I'm saying? Let's just enjoy the people that are in the room. So sometimes you have to send out these text messages or these precursors to the family, like, we're not doing that this year. you know Not just the energy inside of the house, but the energy in this world right now is just off. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? So when we come into the house, let's just kill all that. Let's just love on the people that are here, and maybe create new memories, or How about we just talk about the people are not here, things that made us laugh, things that made them, set aside. I remember when Big Mama used to do this, or I remember when Mom, used to do this. Bringing us together, not, forming a situation where we turn on the news tonight and 247, you know, we got somebody who done shot a cousin or a auntie or anything like that, you know.
No, definitely. I agree. I agree. Then just to be honest, sometimes like yesterday we have an annual family and friends Christmas gathering every year. My family. It was
Mhm.
nice. Everybody had a good time and things like that. It was, I can honestly say that I'm blessed to really have a family that's pretty much close knitted. People disagree, but it's nothing over the top. We always get together, have a good time, love on each other, eat good, laugh, play music, joke. So I'm pretty blessed with that. Everybody got family members that it's like, okay, really, but for the most part, it's my family is pretty well put together. And like I said, if it's one that I feel that is not too kosher, I know how to just keep my distance.
Yeah.
Because
Mm.
I'm just in a place where nobody is going to disturb my peace
Yeah.
because I'm peaceful. I'm not going to do
Hmm.
that. So,
Hmm.
you know, um, anxiety is real.
Oh yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
it breaks my heart when I look on social media and I see so many men and women taking their lives,
Yeah.
and it's like, wow, and it just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Sometimes you might see a little signs by things that they post, but then for the most part, it's like, where did that come from? This person did this, that, and the third. So it's like you have to be mindful of how you treat people and just what you say and how you play your hand. You know,
But not just family members, because not all family members are blood, related. I know for myself, I have come into a covenant with quite a few of my friends, and I love them dearly. So I think also, during this season, we need to check on each other. We need to make sure that, each other are okay. Some signs that we should, say, okay, this is a little concerning, when we see people that are normally out in, in the public or in the eye of the public, you don't see them no longer. They withdraw. Check on your people. Make sure they're okay. Some people, and I'm not going to say some people, most of us
mm-hmm,
start taking it personal.
mm-hmm,
Like, oh, it must be something. No, it may not have nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? Check on your friends, if they withdraw, if you see mood changes, if you see a level of, anxiety. Um, there are signs, that people are in distress.
that's right.
And I don't know sometimes if we don't want to see it or we just don't care, but it's important that we say, hey sis, oh bruh, I haven't seen you, how you doing? Or just if you wake up and God place them on your heart, pick up the phone and call. You never know what people are going through. You
That's
never know.
And some people just are selfish, and that's not
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
It's just not okay to be selfish.
Yeah.
If you, like you said, if you know that somebody is going through something and you're able to be a blessing, talk to
Hmm.
them, or whatever the case may be, do that.
Hmm.
I don't understand what's so hard about that. I
Yeah.
just don't. I pride myself, and my husband too. I pride ourselves on giving off positive energy, you
Yeah.
know, and that's just what it is. Like Rhea, shout out to Rhea. Yes, last night we went out um to the event at the beautiful machine event
Hmm.
gift, and she's always had good energy, like always.
Hmm.
We was walking around talking and just whatever, but she's always been the same. It's always been good energy, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that because it's what it is. Some people are just
Hmm.
good people, And I appreciate that because, sometimes you don't get that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
People change like the weather, and you
Ooh, baby.
to be around individuals that's like-minded and that cares about people the way that you care about people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm if I'm able to bless you, I'm gonna bless you. I don't have to broadcast it. I'm gonna bless you.
Yeah.
Anybody, me and my husband, we do a lot behind the scenes
Oh yeah.
and cash apps. We looking out.
You can't even imagine some of the stuff.
Yeah. So it's what it
And
is.
sometimes my children get so mad at me, but
Yeah.
this is the heart that God has gave me. You know what I'm saying? This is what he has placed on the inside of me. Now, do I have to be careful, like you said earlier, so that my kindness won't be taken for weakness? Absolutely. Sometimes I have to, talk myself into, stepping back, like, okay, Carmen, you can't help everybody. You know, you can't do everything,
Mm-hmm. That's true.
but what I can do, or what I really feel like God has pressed upon my heart to do, I will, to a certain level,
Mm-hmm.
but it's important that, we ask each other, how can we support each other or support you, especially during this time? Do you just need me to call and check on you once a day? Okay, you don't want to talk. Should I just send you a text message? If
Mm-hmm.
I know one of my friends is really going through, the eyes is the gate of their spirit, of their
Right.
heart. And sometimes I haven't been known, I'm pulling up. I don't have to stay, but I
Right.
want to look you in your face. I want to make sure that you're okay. Because
Right.
we can hide behind text message. Hey, I'm good. And you over there suffering.
Yes,
You know what I'm
definitely.
saying? You know that people have issues around this time. And because you so involved, you're not involved. You know what I'm saying? You know what your friends and your family is going through. You know what I'm saying? Don't discount, because I'm telling you, people are leaving here at a greater,
Yeah.
measure.
And this is the
And
time. This is the time that you
yep,
gotta for what you do, where you at, where you're going. If it's not necessary, you don't need to do it. Stay in the house because
yeah,
right before here, people just start dropping off. It's almost
yeah,
like people just pass away. You know, all
yeah,
the way till if you like. I don't even. Me and my husband and kids, we don't. We just be tucked off for the New Year's. We don't even. I don't even go to clubs on New Year's. I don't do New Year's parties. None of that because it's so much going on.
yeah,
Lesson to even make it to January 1st to know, okay, I made it another year.
yeah,
Okay. You know, um, you have to be mindful, and I keep saying that because so many people are not woke. I'll use that.
yeah,
Um, and you
yeah,
have to know what you can deal with and what you can't deal with. And you have to understand that some things, see, a lot of times you got individuals that's just go with the flow.
yeah,
They don't have no knowledge of nothing. They just out here just all over the place. You got to learn some type of knowledge of yourself.
yeah,
You got to get some type of wisdom about yourself. If you don't have any of those, you just out here. You just a body walking around with a heart that's beating, and it has to come from up here. And so many people are so lost that they don't even recognize that they're going through a mental state because they don't have any knowledge of what's going on. They don't even know why
yeah,
they're acting a certain way. They don't know why um, the anxiety is the way that it is.
yeah.
They don't have
And
any
that's
knowledge.
why it's important that we listen. We listen and we talk to each other without judgment.
That's right.
Because of I may be able to deal with something better than you. I can't start spinning. Well, you need to do this. You need to do that. You need to do that. Yeah. Sometimes we just have to listen.
Yeah,
Um, um, listen without judgment.
that's right.
Listen to understand. I was just telling my children that the other day. Most times we have to listen to understand and not listen in a place of wanting to respond.
That's right.
Everything don't take a response. Sometimes people just need to vent and get stuff off of their heart,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of times then they're okay.
Mm-hmm. That's
Sometimes people just need, that hug,
right.
and then they're okay.
That's right. And then
Every once in a while, I'll call y'all up. I'll call somebody up and say, hey, let's go get something to eat.
that's right.
You know, because I just need to get outside these walls. I need to get away from, the enemy playing on my mind. I need to get out and get fresh air. I need a different, scenery. So all that's important.
It is. And it's so important. And it might seem small.
Hmm.
Not. Sometimes it's good to just get away and be around like-minded individuals and like-minded women and just people in general. Like, I pride myself on being a positive woman, uplifting other women, and just being a good person.
Yeah.
um, I don't want to be that person that people, oh, she this, she that, she this. I want to be who I was raised to be. My grandmother, she was a really, really sweet person. She helped everybody. She did a lot for people. And I'm that way because that's how I was raised.
Yeah.
Um, I treat people the way that I would want them to treat me.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
and
important.
that's so important. And you can't really judge a person because you don't know what they are going through. So you have to be mindful of that also.
Yeah.
Because like you said, a person can look like they got it all together and be fighting all kind of demons and going through things, and you'll never know. And then you look up on Facebook, it's saying rest in peace, and they did something then,
Yes.
and you sitting there looking crazy like, well, wow, they was just out at a party yesterday, or they were just, I just seen them at the mall, or whatever the case may be. We life isn't like it used to be, and I stress that it's not like it was back in the 90s or back in the 80s. Nowadays you can't even let your kids go outside and play without you being there to watch every move that they making.
Every single move,
Kids
you
go through
know.
illness too. Kids are
Yes.
depressed, because of the things that the parents are doing. You know, you have to give kids choices. Like with our daughter True, we give her choices. Okay, what you want to eat? You want chicken or pizza? What shoes you want to wear? You
Yeah.
know, oh, she likes to draw. Oh, that's beautiful, True. You have to
Yeah.
give kids options and praise them and let them know that they are, because kids are depressed too. I see it
Yeah.
every day.
We
You
just
have.
taught. We just had my lesson this before I just left was suicide
Mm-hmm.
prevention. First, we did, bullying, cyberbullying. Then before we left, we were on suicide prevention. And like I told, the children, I'm not going to sit here before, we were ignorant. I told them, I said, I apologize for our ignorance as adults. We would look at kids and say, what do you got to be depressed about? You eating free, you living in a house, and this, all this. And I said, that was to our ignorance. And I
Mm-hmm.
want to apologize because you guys can go through things. You guys can be depressed. Before we didn't take into account what you just said, that maybe there's alcohol, one of their parents is experiencing alcohol, um uh, what do you call it? Shoot, I can't even say it now. Alcoholism, or they're on drugs. Maybe
Yeah.
they haven't seen their parent. Maybe they seeing one of the parents get knocked up. You know what I'm saying, across their head. Maybe there's no food. So we have to be careful not to say to children, "Oh, ain't nothing wrong with you,"
Mm-hmm.
because it is.
It is. Now you see it every day. They come to, they're quiet. They're going to the
Mm-hmm.
restaurant themselves, and it's sad because a lot of parents, they're not looking at it as deeply as they should, because in their mind, oh, they're kids. They'll be
Yep.
all right. You know, I pay attention to my kids like crazy. Ray is 17, and I'll be like, "You good? What's wrong?" He be, "Mom, good. You sure?" Because they're growing into their own, person, and they have thoughts.
Yeah.
They feel way. They have feelings. So you can't just assume that everything is okay. You have to be mindful. You just have to be mindful, and it's just so sad because life used to didn't be like this. It just really didn't used to be like this. But mental illness is at an all-time high around the holidays.
Yes.
Depression is at an all-time high around the holidays. Suicide is at an all-time high.
Yeah.
Homelessness and all the above. So
Homicide. You know what I'm
homicide,
saying? I
the
turned, what is it? Last weekend, I clicked on my phone to go on social media, and the thing that popped up, somebody had just unlived somebody, and they were standing right over the body, communicating with the SWAT team outside. I was like, what in the world is happening?
mental illness.
Then you scroll up, and here's somebody else then just took a child, took his grandmother's life. I said, man, we have to really tap in with each other. It's no us just going on with life like
Everything is good.
yeah, like everything is good, and the people that are in our circle, or in our reach, we don't even check in. That's just diabolical to me. And not only that, the church, you know what I'm saying? We got to get out of those four walls, and we got to get into these communities, you know what I'm saying, and be a light, you know what I'm saying. Bring Jesus to people. You know what I'm saying? We always want people to come to Jesus. It's not that smooth.
Mhm.
Sometimes we have to go out into the community and show that love. That's where people have their first encounter with Jesus. By you meeting their need, by you coming in stands, you know what I'm saying, of the Father, and saying, hey, I'm doing this on behalf of the Father. I hope this blesses you and stuff like that. You don't know the seed that plants inside of a person,
That's right.
but I just pray that our listeners, if you are dealing with mental health, if you're dealing with loneliness, if you're dealing with anxiety, seasonal depression, if you're dealing with just feeling like you don't belong, reach out, reach out. There are some resources available. Sis, what's the suicide prevention number? Was it
Um,
988?
yes, you have 988 pound now 988. You can call on your
And then
phone
you can call 211. That's United Way, and they can give you all the resources you need.
or call
Tap
9.
in or call 911. And I know a lot of us don't want to have no dealings with the police. And I'm kind of leery when I say 911, because of so many people that have had mental health episodes where the police went in blazing, you know what I'm saying, and not necessarily
Helping.
there to resolve or diffuse the issue. But if push come to shove, mamas, aunties, uncles, friends, cousins, if you must dial 911, make sure that you say over and over that this person is having a mental health issue. There are no weapons involved. I just need a mental health awareness check. Make sure you give them all the information that you can give them so that they can go in with the knowledge they need beforehand.
Definitely. And we have to be the change. We have to help each other. We have to do it. It has to start with us.
Hmm.
You know, we have so many organizations and things that's, okay, we're doing this over here and we're doing that over here and we're helping it. It has to be a collective. And
Hmm.
just imagine how powerful things can be when we have mental health forums and things like that. If we were all to come together and really just hit the ground running with that, it will help so many people.
Yeah.
You- Let's not forget about the individuals that are going through mental health issues and they know that they have mental health issues, but they're too embarrassed to even say anything about it because they don't want to be talked about. So it's
Right.
just so many arenas and areas of mental health that we'll be talking all day. But if you need the help, it's okay. Life is depressing alone sometimes. I see it all the time. I mean, anytime you see 15 and 16-year-olds panhandling, talking to themselves,
Yes.
and you ask yourself, wow, how did they get there? They're only 15. Where's their parents at?
Hmm.
You know, it's real. So imagine if a kid is going through that or a teen, what adults are going through. So we just have to really just be mindful in our walk, and be the change, be the help, and be sincere about it.
And be sincere and learn how to be people of confidence.
Yes.
Like if somebody shares something with you, it is not your job to go and share it with your friend. And I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm not married,
Mhm.
but even if I'm married, if my girlfriends is sharing something with me, I'm not finna, roll over and tell my husband. I
Mm-hmm.
just think that there's a level of a
Right.
confidentiality that, a person should feel with their friend. Now, if it's something crazy, you know what I'm saying, but I just think that we look at each other and we
Mm-hmm.
hear some of the stuff that come out of your mouth, about other people. So if you're doing it about other people, why would somebody feel comfortable coming to you and sharing their heart with you because they know you're going to do the same with them? Now, listen, I'm not saying, minor stuff, but when you start talking about, their intimate, their heart, heart matters and stuff like that, I just think that's a no-no, you know. I just think that's a no-no. So sometimes people are not coming and sharing things with you because they've seen how you have dragged other people in their personal matters, through the ringer. I think that sometimes people can make other people mental health
Mm-hmm.
worse when you in essence become a gossiper, when essence you become a person that goes behind people back and shed, bad light, on that person when you talk about that person. And a lot of times you're talking about a person and expecting it not to get back to them, and then it gets back to them. I think you have to be really careful with that because you can be the cause of somebody's demise. You could be the cause of somebody getting to the place where that might be that one thing that will cause them to want to unlive themselves. Let's be people that understands that we are our brothers and sisters keeper. We have to be the type of people that will speak well of people. And like our grandmother used to tell us, if you don't have nothing nice to say, then don't say anything at all. Um, hopefully, Alicia be able to get back on. But we got to be people that, what I'm saying, just speak well of people. And if you can't, just don't say anything. Allow people to experience people for themselves. I don't think we really understand that sometimes we can make people's mental state, worse than what it is by what we say about people when they're not in your presence. Let's be people, kind people. I tell my children this all the time. I tell my children this all the time. Kind people are my kind of people. I I disassociate myself with people that are just mean spirited. I disassociate myself from people like that. I don't want to feel like I am the cause of somebody not wanting to go a step further, or I'm the cause of somebody, maybe taking a step back or being triggered or having emotional breakdowns because of the words that I have placed in this, atmosphere or whatever. So we got to be people that are just, good people. It's so much going on. It's important that we come together as one. It's important that we lean on each other. It's important that we have each other's back. A lot of us, we need it. We need it. And especially if you are people that go out into the world and are change agents. Welcome back. And especially if you are people that go out into the world and you are change agents. Just imagine yourself going in and out of the city
I can't
and
hear.
you
I
can't
can't
hear.
hear. Can't hear.
I can hear you.
I can't hear you. I can't
um
hear.
it's not muted. Just imagine. No.
If I can't hear.
Go out and come back in. Imagine going out into the world And you're picking up, like Alicia said, all those different spirits and stuff like that. That's a lot. Th- it's that's a lot, you know what I'm saying, to carry, you know, on your own. It's a lot. I don't know. People who truly are, you know, people that are in the community, you understand exactly what I'm saying. The burdens of this society, the burdens of our community, it weighs heavy. It weighs heavy on our shoulders. You know, most people that I know who are really community oriented people, they battle with not having enough to meet everybody's need. And then that's just the truth of the matter. We battle with not, you know, having the unlimited resources to be able to say, hey, I got you.
That's
You
right.
know, hey, I want to make sure that, you know, you off the street. Some days I sit in my house and I don't think people understand when I'm able to help one or two, you know, homeless people. Sometimes I could be sitting in my house minding my own business, watching a Christmas movie, and gotta say, get up and go feed the homeless.
Wow.
It it bothers me that I'm not able to say, come on, let me put you up for the next year or two. You
Right.
know, let me get you in a program so we can clean you up so that when
Mhm.
you get out, you know, there's an apartment or a house that's waiting for you
That's,
to live your life. That's a heavy burden. You know what I'm
yes.
saying? When, whoo, let me gather myself. When I have to drive off with only being able to meet their hunger need, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Or driving off after I give them a hat or a scarf or, you know what I'm saying, some gloves. That's heavy because I know I'm coming back to a warm place, you
Mhm.
know, where people don't have, you know, that plays heavy on my heart, you know.
Definitely.
So, okay, because I'm about to be bawling. But that bothers me that we live in one of the richest countries
Mhm.
and our veterans can't even get off of concrete.
Yep. So sad.
You
Yes.
know, when the homeless people are more encouraging than the people who have. There are so many days I go out by myself, or sometimes I take my grandchildren because I want them to understand it's important to give back. You know, my grandson just had a birthday, and I told him, I said, hey, before we go to this birthday party where you're going to get everything that you want, I want you to go out and feed a couple of homeless people so that you understand that you are blessed. You know, you are extremely blessed. But when I get out there, when I get off the couch and I go do what God told me to do, it's amazing that I'm met with life.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? They are in a situation where they can't do any better right now for themselves. Meanwhile, they're encouraging me.
That's right.
Sis, keep going. You don't know how I this is a blessing. You know, like the lady last weekend, she said, I was out looking for him. And she said, this is such a blessing that, you know, I'm able to get hats and gloves. Or me just riding down, you know, a street saying, pulling over and you need a hat and glove. Yes, please. You know what I'm saying? I don't realize how fulfilling that is until I drive off and now my spirit is encouraged, or I feel that sense of energy to figure out or to have conversations with God on, okay, how can I do more? What do I need to do to be able to be a blessing? So we got to really tap into people and make, you know what I'm saying, their life a little bit better. And it doesn't have to be somewhere out on the street. You know, your niece or your nephew over there struggling.
Mhm.
Call them. It doesn't have
Right.
to be materialistic stuff. Call them and say, hey, how can I help you get a plan for you to get back on, you know, track?
Mhm. Definitely.
So y'all done made me cry today.
That's all.
And I'll be up in here crying now. No, listen, because I still throw some hands. No, I'm just playing. Okay. So give us some closing remarks on how we can get past this season, going into a new year, starting afresh.
Well, I'll say just be easy on yourself. Take it easy, take it one day at a time. Um, don't overwork yourself. Do only what you can do. And if you can't do it, it's perfectly fine. Life happens. And just grace, give grace, and continue to just be strong in what you can be strong in. And, you'll get through it. Take it a day at a time.
I like that. One of the key words that I heard, it was amplified when you was talking, grace. Give yourself some grace during this season. If you don't have it, you don't have it. You have life. You
Yes.
have breath. You didn't wake up in a hospital where a mean nurse didn't want to be there because she wanted to be with her family and she's sticking you any kind of way. You've been ringing the bell for 30 minutes for somebody to come change you, wash you up. Give yourself some grace.
Yes.
You know, you won't be in the season that you in always.
Right.
So, this too shall pass. Love on yourself. Tell yourself, next year I won't be in the situation that I'm in right now. My life is looking greater and greater as the minute go past. And stay around people that will continue to uplift you and push you and deposit the right energy inside of you where you can grasp hold of it and you can see the next day. Um, Tell the people where they can find you. Oh, I wanted to say, and I brought it with me. I don't know if y'all can see it now, but I got on my Vicky Mac lipstick.
Oh, wow. Thank you for your.
Uh, I don't know. Can you see it?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I got on my Vicky Mac lipstick. It's red. I got
Mhm.
my red Christmas stuff on, so I wanted to put my red lipstick on.
Appreciate
Uh, but go to VickyMac .com
it. Mhm. Yep, you can find
and
us on.
see all of her products.
Yes, VickyMac.com. VICKIE Mac MACK.com. Check out my website. I have accessories on there, bonnets, lipstick, hoodie, shirts. So just check it out. Thank you.
And listen, go order something, a lip gloss, a lipstick. Everything matters. But you know what's really matters? You can share it and it's free. If you are in between blessings, share the post. Let somebody know that Vicky Mac is on the shelves. I got mine. I bought some other products too, but I don't know. I keep this red lipstick in my pocket because red, can get some stuff popping. I'm just But also go to DetroitTableTalk.com. DetroitTableTalk.com. Shop in my store. You will see my books. You will see, whatever you see up in there, some tumblers or whatever. Shop in there. Let's continue to also going out of this year, but going into the new year, supporting one another. Again, you may not always have it financially, but you can share it for free.
That's right.
And that's what matters the most. You know, that's what matters the most. So, as we move on through our day, I want to say from my table to yours, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Right.
And don't forget, when we come back, it'll be on my birthday.
That's
So come
thank,
out.
thanks
Come in
for
the comments, pop in, tell me happy birthday. Because, yes, I'm going to have a show on my birthday, I think. Yes, I'm going to have a show on my birthday. So come on in, pop in, say happy birthday. But listen, I hope you walk away with a sense of release where you can breathe, let the stress levels subside, do what you can and what you can't. Amen. I've even heard somebody say, you know what, we're not buying no presents this year. We just gonna get together as family. We're gonna eat, we're gonna watch some movies, we're gonna do some hot chocolate, and we're gonna love on one another. Let me just let me whisper something to you. These little spoiled kids don't need nothing else anyway. Okay?
right.
Y'all done gave them everything. The only thing next you can give them is a car or a house. They have all the PlayStations. They have all the Nintendos, the Nintendo Switches. They have all the latest shoes, the clothes, the hats. The listen. Some of these little blessings need to learn right now because they stepping into a little bit of the privilege,
Mhm.
area where they think they that you got to do for them. So let's just chill. Merry Christmas,
Merry
and
Christmas.
I will talk to you guys later.
Thanks for having me. Have a great one.
Have a great one. I don't even know how to get out of here.